This video will show you how to get signed up and started with EndNote, as well as demonstrating some of its basic features. So what EndNote is a bibliographic management software. This means that as you're doing your research, as you find articles in the various databases, you can save them and export them over into EndNote. EndNote will store the citations for you so that, let's say you're at home and you want to access some of the citations you may have found on campus, you can still do that. It will also organize your research so that you can keep track of it based on the project that you're working on. In addition to these features, it will help you with in-text citations and help format your bibliography when you're ready to write your paper. So let's start at the Thompson Library homepage. And if you scroll down a little bit, on the right-hand side, you will see a citation management box. I just want to draw your attention to RefWorks. You may see that as an option as well. We will be getting rid of our access to RefWorks in December of 2020, so we're highly recommending that people begin using EndNote. So if you click EndNote, it will take you to this page where you can either register or sign in. One note about registering is that you need to sign in the first time from on campus. If you are unable to make it to campus, there is a feature through ITS called Lab Anywhere that basically spoofs a session with an ITS computer here on campus. I will insert a slide with some information about that in case that's the option you need to use. If you are on campus, however, you can come here and click the register button. So once you hit register, you need to fill in your information here and then click register. I, however, am already registered, so I'm going to sign in. As you can see, this is the main page that you land on when you get to EndNote. So there's some information on how to use it, how to create things, how to store and share. And the very first thing that I recommend is going into Organize, because this is where you can set up your groups and manage the different groups that you have. If I hover over Organize and then click Manage My Groups, this takes me to a list of the groups that I've already set up. So from this point in time, I can create a new group. I'm going to name it Nursing Research and click OK. So this has set up a folder for me where, as you can see, it shows Nursing Research and it says 0 references because I have not used it yet. So from here, this is basically all you need to do for right now. Once you go out, we'll go back to the library homepage. And I'm going to look for gestational diabetes. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to be grabbing articles directly out of Summon, which is sort of like our Google for the library. So what I can do from Summon is I can just grab some articles. So in real life, you would obviously want to make sure that the articles are appropriate for your research. But from here, I'm just going to snag a few of them here by clicking this plus button. This adds them up to a saved items folder at the top. And all the major databases have something like this. It's called Clipboard in PubMed, and it's called Folder in CINAHL. So once I have my articles into my folder here, I can click this box where it says Export To. It gives me a bunch of options, and I'm going to select EndNote. So what that does, it creates a file right here that I'm going to end up exporting into EndNote. So if I go back into EndNote and hover over Collect, there's 3 options on here. We want import references. So from here, it has you choose a file. So I'm going to go to Downloads, and this is the most recent file that I've saved. This is where it gets a little bit tricky, because when you go to select your import option, at the very first time you try to import something, you're going to see a lot of different options. So as I'm importing an RIS file, I can scroll all the way down to RefMan RIS. So that stands for Reference Management RIS file. The best thing you can do, though, is click over here where it says Select Favorites. This will bypass that step for you every other time that you come in. So once again, we're going to scroll all the way down to RefMan RIS. You can copy to favorites. There's also options for a lot of the other different databases. So if you end up using Embase, which is another one, if you end up using CINAHL, you can add these to your favorites too. If you're going to be using PubMed, you can select PubMed and copy that to your favorites as well. And as you encounter these, you can add these to your favorites. Now, when we go to the import option, we only see the 3 that we've selected. So we're going to select RefMan RIS for this one because it's not one of the other two databases. And it asks you which group you'd like to put it into. So I'm going to put these into nursing research. And as you can see, if you haven't set up a folder yet, there is an option to set up a new group at this point in time. We're going to stick with nursing research and hit import. So it tells me 3 references were imported into nursing research group. So now I can go into my references. This shows me all the groups that I have, along with the number of files within each group. So in my nursing research, I have 3. So if I come here, it will take me to the different citations that I have already brought into here. So if I want to re-access this article once I'm home, I can go here to where it says go to URL. And it will take me back to the place where I can access the full text of this article. So the other handy things that you can do here is you can download something called Cite while you write, which helps you with your in-text citations. We'll cover that in another video. The other thing that it will help you do is to format your bibliography. So if you'd like to have your bibliography formatted, go up to Format, hover down, click Bibliography. Now it's going to ask which references you'd like. So we're going to do nursing research. It's going to ask you for your style. And once again, there are many, many, many different styles. So I recommend you add the same way you did with the format, the type that you'll be using most often. So in my favorites, I have APA 6th edition and the Journal of the American Medical Association, which is AMA format. So I am going to be formatting this on the APA style, and I would like a rich text file. So if I click Save, it should bring up a Word document for me. That's formatted based on the style that I requested. Now you're always going to want to double check to make sure that it didn't have any errors. I always say that this helps you to format your bibliography because every once in a while you'll see that it's done something strange. So grab your guide, make sure everything's the way you need it to be for your style. But it does help you to avoid all those troubles you may have with formatting the indentations and everything, which is the part that I love about it. So from here, what you can do is copy and paste this into your paper. So that's the basic overview of EndNote. If you have any questions or would like to have an in-person review of EndNote, don't hesitate to contact me or set up an appointment where we can sit down and go through it together.